Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking to you about e-collars and the difference between e-collars and shock collars. They've come a long way. Today I'm using an e-collar with Titus. I'm using the Mini Educator, which is a great tool. Highly recommend it. But let's talk a little bit as we're out on our walk this morning about the difference between shock collars and e-collars. So shock collars back in the day were exactly that. They only gave a negative consequence. So your ones you get at, even now, the ones you get at Walmart or PetSmart or one of those that are pretty crappy, to be honest with you. They give you 5 different levels, and think of it as anywhere from a pinch to a punch in the face. That's kind of how they're designed to work. So a dog does something you don't like, they get the correction. The problem with a lot of them was the levels were so they were so drastic in between the different levels, whereas this tool has 100 different levels, so you can really ease your way up as far as correction levels. The e-collar is different than a shock collar because it uses a different technology. It actually uses kind of that muscle stimulation technology that you can get if you hurt yourself and you're in a rehab place or something like that, and they put those patches on and they send electricity to your muscles to help them heal. It uses that same kind of idea. So you can use this tool to both teach a command, reinforce a command, and correct if they don't do the command. So you have way more. This is like a toolbox of tools compared to your traditional shock collar, which is a hammer. Here's your hammer, go for it. So these are a great tool to use if you use it properly. So a lot of folks that are like, I've tried everything, I've even tried a shock collar, doesn't work. More often than not, it's probably just because the tool was used in the wrong way. So what I'm doing today with Titus, we've done a lot of leash work. You've seen some of my videos on long line training. So now we are reinforcing using the e-collar. So he is tethered to me on a leash, but the predominant tool I'm using is the e-collar. So if he stays within the buffer zone behind me, there's no correction. If he lags too far behind, I'm gonna bump him, so to speak, with the e-collar, and it gives him that sensation of, hey, keep up, you're lagging behind. So the same way, if they were on a long line and they got too far behind and you gave them a little pop with the leash, we're just doing the same thing but with the e-collar, and it's really nice because your hands are free. It's a great tool, and you can also ramp it up. So if I was in a situation where it was high level of distraction, Titus is getting amped up, he wants to break from what he's doing, then I can crank this baby up and use it as a strong correction for him breaking the rules. So it's a great tool to use if you use it properly. So what I'm going to try and demonstrate here is I'm going to speed up, and if Titus doesn't keep up with me, I'm going to give him a tap with the e-collar. Right now we're on a level 28, which still isn't very high. I would scale of 1 to 100. And that's another important thing to keep in mind, is depending on the level of distraction is your level of stimulation. So when he wears this in the house, he's like 12 to 15 range. When we're doing this, he's in the 20s. If we were to go into a situation with, there's 2 dogs at the end of their tethers and they're snapping and snarling, and he he might break from what he needs to do. It might go up to 50 to 70. It just depends on the level of distraction you're at. So I'm going to try and keep him in the shot here, and you'll see I'm just going to speed up. So right there, he got a bump. I sped up. I actually felt the tension start to happen in the leash just a little bit, and then that's when I used the e-collar. So I'm doing it again. Right there. So the same thing. And important thing to remember, if you correct with the e-collar, you don't reward after you're done. Okay? If your kid gets in trouble and you bust them for doing something, you're not going to discipline them and then give them a cookie. If they do what they're supposed to do, you give them a cookie. So if I speed up, nice, there you go. I'm going to try and do this one-handed. Good boy. I'm giving him a treat now behind me. So that time I sped up, he stayed with me, he got a treat. Versus the last two times I sped up, he had to get a tap from the e-collar. So he doesn't get a treat then, he just gets a, hey, stay with me. So, pretty short and sweet. Hope to do more videos on this. We're in low level of distraction this morning, so I hope to make some videos here shortly with higher levels of distraction so you can see it when he's amped up, how to use it. But that's kind of an overview of the difference between shock collars and e-collars. Don't take my word for it. Go and research and do your homework. And happy training. We'll see you next time.